So come to page 234. Let's understand the overview. Okay, the overview or the introduction to a manufacturing business. Okay, how does a manufacturing business is like, and what do they do? How is it different from a normal business? We are looking into this. So here is a table that compares a retail business and manufacturing business. Okay, retail business, you can also call it as trading business. Okay, trading business, or you call it retail business. The best example to use is 7-Eleven, or nowadays you call it the 99 Speed Mart. Okay, or you call it the Family Mart. Okay, so especially 99 Speed Mart. Do you think 99 Speed Mart make their own things and sell? No. If you have been to 99 Speed Mart, all the things they are selling, they bought from suppliers. They bought from factories, then they sell to customers at a higher price, right? Okay, so these are retail businesses, buy and sell, just buy and sell. Okay, they don't make things on their own. For manufacturing businesses, they make things and sell. They make things and sell. Okay, let's look at the first column. Sorry, the first row. There is one similarity between the two kind of businesses. For retail businesses, they want to make profits because they are business. For manufacturing businesses, they also want to make profits because they are business as well, right? Okay. So the first row, I think it makes sense. Don't need me to explain further. Both kind of businesses, they want to make money. Next row, for retail businesses, they buy finished goods. Okay, you write down, they buy finished goods from suppliers and sell on to consumers at a higher price. Okay, buy finished goods and then sell on to consumers at a higher price. Okay, meaning of finished goods, write down. Finished goods means inventory that are ready for sale. Ready for sale in its condition. Okay, let me further explain this. Okay, you write down this. Ready for sale in its condition. Basically, this means, so you imagine you are running 99 Speed Mart. You are running a 99 Speed Mart. You buy gardenia bread from gardenia factory. You know, right? Gardenia. Okay, you buy gardenia bread from gardenia factory. Do you think 99 Speed Mart would further process the breads that they bought from gardenia? Of course they don't. They won't further process the gardenia breads before they sell it to you, right? Because 99 Speed Mart, they just buy and sell. So we call this as finished goods because you don't further process them. When you bought from supplier, when you bought from gardenia factory, they are already in a for sale condition. Okay, you don't have to further process it. Okay, that's finished goods. So you read, buy finished goods from suppliers and sell on to consumers at a higher price. Okay, makes sense? Manufacturing businesses, they make their own products. Okay, they could be making just one product or they make a few products. Okay, so you have the alphabet S in bracket. Okay, it could be product or products with raw materials. Okay, all these terms you must be very familiar with them after learning this topic. Okay, raw materials. You make products with raw materials and sell the products. Okay, make the products with raw materials and then sell the products. So what are raw materials? Here you can see this example. Let's say your factory is about making furniture. Your factory is about making furniture. And your raw materials must be the woods from the what? Forest. Okay, the woods from the forest. So you make the woods into this form and then you make the furniture. Okay, okay, so this is raw material. Okay, now the second difference, so that's the first difference. Okay, retail businesses, they buy finished goods and then sell them on to the customer. They don't further process. Manufacturing business, they make their own things with raw materials, then they sell the products. Okay, they make their own products. Second difference, for retail businesses, they only have one kind of inventory. We call it as finished goods. Okay, retail businesses only have one kind of inventory. We call it as finished goods. Inventory means things that are in your storeroom, things that are in your storeroom. Okay, you can think of inventory as things that are in your storeroom of your business. So logically, retail businesses should have only finished goods. For manufacturing businesses, they have three types of inventory. They have three categories of inventory, and they are, okay, write down. So at any point of time, they should have raw materials so that they can continue to make things, so that they can continue to manufacture things in the factory. Secondly, you're right, work in progress. Work in progress are things that you have worked halfway through in the factory. Let me repeat. Work in progress are the things you have worked halfway through in the factory. That means it is this one. This is work in progress because it's not raw material. It's not finished goods either. Finished goods is this. Finished goods is the table that you can see here. This is raw material. Okay, so I believe through this diagram, you can see the relationship easily. Raw materials are the inventory you have for making the goods. Okay, raw materials. And then work in progress, you have done some processes upon the raw material so that they become work in progress, but not in the condition of finished goods yet. That's work in progress. Things that have been through a few processes in the factory, but not finished yet. Okay, lastly, write finished goods here. Write finished goods here. Okay, so that's the second difference. Retail businesses have only one kind of inventory, finished goods. Manufacturing businesses, they have three kinds of inventory: raw material, work in progress, and finished goods. Now let's look at the second half of the page to understand their businesses further. So you must remember one thing. For manufacturing businesses, you must have a factory. You must have a factory. Okay, you must have a factory. Cost of the products that they sell. Cost of the products that they sell. Cost of products means what? Cost of products means how much have you spent in getting the goods for selling it to the customer? Okay, how much have you spent on getting the goods for sale to the customer? Okay, and for retail businesses, I think it's quite straightforward. Let's say we talk about gardenia breads. Okay, you are running a 99 speed mark. You are running a 99 speed mark, and you buy from time to time. You buy gardenia breads from gardenia factory, right? So whatever prices the factory charge you would be the cost. Whatever prices gardenia factory charge us would be the cost. Agree? So you see, for cost of products for retail businesses, it's simple. It is prices of goods from supplier together with the delivery charges. The delivery charges for delivering the goods from the factory to our shop. Okay, we are running 99 speed mark. So without spending on the delivery, you cannot get the breads from the factory, right? Therefore, it becomes part of the cost of your goods as well. Okay, so conclusion, for retail businesses, the cost of products are the combination of prices of the goods charged by supplier together with the delivery charges. Okay, and then you see IS here, right? Remove it. It's not necessary to be here. For manufacturing businesses, cost of products would be a figure more complex to get. You have to do a lot of calculations to get the cost of products for manufacturing businesses. So recall that for manufacturing businesses, you make things yourself, right? you make things yourself, and then you sell to customer. You have a factory, you need to have a factory, then you manufacture things yourself, then you sell to the customer, right? Okay, so this is the factory. So you try to think, what is the reason you need to have a factory? What is the reason you need to have a factory? To manufacture goods, right? To manufacture goods, right? Therefore, whatever spendings you incur, whatever spendings you have from the factory would become the cost of the goods. Okay, let me repeat, yeah. For manufacturing businesses, the reason you have a factory is to make goods. Therefore, logically, all the spendings that are linked to the factory, all the spendings that are linked to the factory will become the cost of the products. Don't you think so? Yes, right? Because all the spendings in the factory are responsible to making the goods. Okay, all the spendings in the factory are responsible in making the goods. Therefore, this chapter, we are going to do something known as manufacturing account. Okay, you are going to do something known as manufacturing account, and we are going to use it to calculate, okay, whatever I write, you may write, yeah, calculate cost of production. Okay, we are going to make use of manufacturing account to calculate something known as cost of production. Meaning, we are going to combine all the factory spendings. We are going to make use of manufacturing account to combine all the factory spendings to calculate cost of production. So cost of production means the cost of your products, okay, the cost of your products. Okay, so now you see the purpose. Why you do manufacturing account, you want to combine all the factory spendings, combine all the factory spendings. So what are some examples of factory spendings? You have a few here. Prices of raw materials. Agree? Raw materials are part of your products, right? Of course, it will become your cost of production. Wages of factory workers. You hire workers to be in the factory to make things. Of course, the wages would be part of the cost of goods as well. Water and electricity of the factory. Water and electricity of the factory. I think it makes sense. You need electricity to run any machines in your factory. You need electricity to run any machines in your factory. And if you talk about food products or soft drinks like Coca-Cola that you make in the factory, of course you need water, right? And water could be the one that the washroom in the factory, you should have a washroom, right? Okay, otherwise where would they go for? Where would they go to yeah, you don't go, I mean, right? They need the washroom in the factory. Therefore, you would have to spend on water. And insurance of factory. Why do you need to buy insurance for factory? Because I'm not sure if you are aware, in Malaysia, it's quite popular that you would see the news of a factory that makes furniture catching fire. Okay, there are a lot of factories that make furniture, they catch fire in Malaysia. It's a very popular thing that happens in Malaysia. Why? Because furniture are made out of what? Furnitures are made out of woods. Can woods catch fire easily? Yes. So for businesses that can get into accident easily, like fire accident, they must buy insurance to protect themselves. Another example of factory that can catch fire easily, maybe factories that make newspapers. Okay, newspapers factories that print newspapers. So would they catch fire easily? Yes, papers catch fire easily. Therefore, they have to buy insurance. Okay, therefore, that would become part of the cost of production. Okay, insurance of factory. Depreciation of factory machinery. Okay, so it's also part of the cost of production, rent of factory, etc. As long as you see a spending that is related to the factory, it would become cost of your production. Okay, you will include it in your manufacturing account. Okay, later we will see a sample of manufacturing account, and I walk you through. Okay, I'll walk you through the items in the manufacturing account. For now, just try to understand that The reason you have a factory is to manufacture goods. And therefore, all the factory spendings are responsible for getting the goods. Therefore, you prepare manufacturing account to combine all the factory spendings, and then you get a figure known as cost of production. Okay, yeah. So for now, keep this in mind. We will do one example later. Okay, next page, 235. Okay, we are now getting nearer to the accounting part. Okay, we have done a lot of learning, okay, about the environment of a manufacturing business. Okay, you have known that they use raw materials to make things, and you know what is work in progress, you know what is finished goods, and you know the purpose of doing a manufacturing account. Purpose of it is to combine all of factory spendings, using the manufacturing account. Now, on this page 235, we are going to see how the accounting is like for manufacturing businesses. How the accounting is like. Again, it's a comparison table here. On the left, you have the retail businesses. Again, best example to make use of is 99 Speed Mart again. Okay, 99 Speed Mart again. Because I've been to 99 Speed Mart for many times, and I really do not see any products that they make themselves. Unless you are aware of anything, you can let me know. But I can let you know that some businesses, they can be both a retail and manufacturing business. Let me repeat. There could be some businesses that are both retail and manufacturing businesses. Give you an example. Aeon company. They are a retail business. They are also a manufacturing business. Because have you ever seen, when you get into Aeon supermarket, have you ever seen products with brand top value? If yes, then you need to be aware. You need to be also aware that top value brands products are made by Aeon. They make these things themselves. Okay, so that's why Aeon is a very big company. They can afford to run a factory as well. Okay, they have so many supermarkets, right? It's a very big business. So therefore, I say that Aeon is also a manufacturing business because they have top value brands which they make themselves. At the same time, of course, there are retail businesses. You get into Aeon supermarket, do you see many things that they sell? Yes, they buy from factories in large quantities, then they sell to you, okay, through the supermarket, through Aeon supermarket. But don't worry, in that exam, you will not be asked questions on businesses that run both retail and manufacturing businesses. Don't worry. Okay, now come back to here. Looking at the retail businesses, typically you prepare income statement first, then you prepare SOFP, right? Statement of financial position, or you call it as balance sheet. Always prepare income statement first, then you prepare SOFP. Okay, for some of you, you learn it with me through the part 2 materials. And always remember to bring profit for the year into the SOFP capital section, right? Remember, okay, it's a very common mistake that where students forget to bring profit for the year into the SOFP. Okay, so don't forget to bring profit for the year into the SOFP. And here's an example of income statement. You can see it yourself. And here is how you present inventory in the SOFP section. Okay, you remember or not? They only have one kind of inventory, known as finished goods. Right? But when you look at their SOFP, you do not see the word finished goods here. Why? Because they only have one kind of inventory. And understandably, when they use the word inventory here, we know that for sure it is finished goods. Get the idea? Okay, let me repeat. The reason you do not have the term finished goods in the current asset section here, okay, you have the word inventory instead, right? The reason is we all know that inventory here refers to finished goods, okay, because they only have one kind of inventory. Therefore, for retail businesses, you only have to show the single word inventory in the SOFP. Okay, so don't have to show the word finished goods. Okay, now manufacturing businesses. There are three things to prepare. Okay, three financial statements to prepare. Income statement is here. Okay, fill up the blank. Income statement is here. Let me write properly. Income statement is here. SOFP is here. Okay. Now, what do you have to prepare before income statement? The one that I mentioned earlier, manufacturing account. Purpose of manufacturing account is to combine all the factory spendings. Therefore, you write it here, manufacturing account. Manufacturing account. Okay, so looking at the sequence, you must remember the sequence, preparing manufacturing account first, then income statement, then the SOIP, then the SOIP. And remember, manufacturing account is used to combine all the factory spendings. I've repeated this term many times, okay? Combining, right? I just want to let you remember, it's about combining factory spendings. You must get this into your mind. And eventually you will get a number known as cost of production. Cost of production refers to all the spendings that are used to make the goods in the factory in a year. Then you have to bring it to the income statement. Okay, I'll show you how you bring it to the income statement later. For now, just remember the sequence. You should prepare manufacturing account first, then income statement, then SOFP. Then also have to know how you present the three kinds of inventory in the SOFP. If you cannot hear me clearly, please let me know. Okay, because it's quite raining. It's quite heavily raining here. Okay, there was thunder and so on. The sound of raining. Okay, so this is SOFP. As you know, inventory is in the current asset section. And this is how you present the three types of inventory here. You make the inventory as a subheading. Okay, why do I call it as a subheading? This is the heading, right? The SOFP is a heading, right? And you call the current asset as a subheading. Okay, I call it as a subheading. Therefore, a heading that is inside a subheading, we call it as subheading. If there's a heading inside the subheading, we call it as subheading. Yeah, I'm not too sure if you are aware of this way of naming. Okay, so this is a subheading. How do you make it as a subheading? You have to leave some space in front. Okay, you have to leave some empty area. You have to leave some empty area in front of the three terms that you write here: raw material, work in progress, and finished goods. That's how you make the inventory word as a subheading. Then you show the figures individually. Okay, show the numbers individually for raw material, work in progress, and finished goods at the year end. Okay, you heard me? At the year end, you have to show the raw material, closing raw material, closing work in progress, and closing finished goods at the year end. Is the closing figures. Why? Because you prepare SOFP at the year end. Okay, income statement is always prepared at the year end. SOFP is also prepared at the year end. All these three are prepared at the year end. They are financial statements, always prepared at the year end. Okay, so here's an overview of the comparison of the financial statements that you have to prepare between retail and manufacturing businesses. Things to focus on, again, is this one. Okay, the extra thing before we prepare income statement. Okay, purpose of it, combine all the factory spendings. And then also be aware of how you show the three types of inventory in the SOFP. Okay, I'm circling just to emphasize. Okay, you don't have to draw the dotted circle. Okay, like what I did here. Okay, if you have question, let me know. Yeah, from time to time. Through speaking or you type. Next page is the last page of the notes. Really. Okay, you are almost done. We are just half an hour past, right? But you are almost done with the topic. Really, it's very easy. But when it comes to doing question, don't worry, it's also not very challenging. It's just about getting familiar with how to do the manufacturing account. Just like when you initially started learning income statement, it should have taken you some time. This time, you have to get familiar with doing a manufacturing account. Okay, remembering all the items in sequence, then it will not be a problem, really. Okay, so before I go through this page with you, we do a couple of questions that are in the form of theory first, shall we? You go to page 237. Okay, go to page 237. We do a few questions together. 237, yeah. We are going to go through some theory questions here. Okay, question A. We are going to do question A. Once again, all the questions here are past exam papers. All these are past exam questions I extracted from the past exam papers. It took me some time. There are 31 pages. You can see at the bottom of the screen, at the bottom in the middle of the screen, how many pages are there for the note section? For the note section, there are only 4 pages. Okay. And the rest are questions. So if you want to master this topic, finish off all the questions in this handout, then compare against the mark scheme, I can guarantee you there will be no more questions that can challenge you in the exam for this topic. Okay, really. So don't worry, I will guide you through for a few questions before I let you try independently. Okay, now come back to this. Page 237, we do the question A together. Define, you know, right? Define means give definition, give meaning. Okay, give definition, give meaning. And give one example of each of the following types of inventory in a dice business. Are you aware? In the note section there, I do not have the definition for these 3 terms for you because I usually tell my students the definition through the question here. At the same time, you are aware it's possible for the examiners to ask you for definitions for these 3 terms. Okay, so yeah, that's the purpose of doing this question. Let's do it. Raw material. What is the definition for raw material? Let's write together. If you see a different description given by your school teacher, or you see a different description of definition in the mark scheme, is reasonable. Okay, because just like writing essays, everybody writes essays differently, right? In the exam, what is the chance that everybody would write the same essay? I mean, with the same sentences, that means the entire essay is the same as everybody else. Of course, no, right? It won't happen. Okay, unless they cheat, then essays will look the same. Okay, so let's write this definition together. Firstly, you have to know it's an inventory. An inventory that has an inventory that has gone through some manufacturing processes, only some, not all. So it's a keyword here, some manufacturing processes. Another keyword for this definition is not in a condition ready for sale yet. That's very important. Okay, words that I've highlighted here, they are very important. Okay, and including this word inventory. Okay, all these are keywords, and all other words you can change them, but I don't think there are many ways to change them though. Okay, so for safety purposes, you can follow the entire sentence for remembering for exam purposes. Okay, definition for raw material. Okay, now, wait. Sorry, this is for work in progress. I overlooked. This is for work in progress. Because raw materials should be the original raw materials. You have not done anything upon the raw materials. Sorry, you have to move it to the second one. Don't have to erase. Maybe you just draw an arrow. Draw an arrow to the A2. Okay. Just now I was thinking about work in progress. Therefore, I wrote the definition for it. Okay. Yeah. So for work in progress, you have done some processes upon them in the factory. Okay. That's what we mentioned, right? Earlier, you have done some processes in the factory upon the raw materials, but they are not done into finished goods yet. Okay, they are halfway through done in the factory. Now, raw materials, this time I write the raw materials definition. It's also an inventory. Something that is in the storeroom is always an inventory. An inventory that has not gone through any manufacturing processes yet in the factory. Keywords are this: has not gone through any manufacturing processes. Okay, so those are raw materials. Okay, raw materials. For examples, I will write it together with you later on. Okay, we write one more. We write the definition for finished goods now. Finished goods is also an inventory that has gone through full manufacturing process. In a condition ready for sale. Okay, ready for sale to the consumers. Keywords: gone through full manufacturing processes in a condition ready for sale to the consumers. These are keywords. Okay. Now, when you're done writing, please let me know. Okay, with the word done in the chat box, I wait for everyone's response. After that, we look at the examples and we try to brainstorm together as to what to write for examples. Okay, I wait for you. When you're done, let me know. Let me drink some water while you're still writing. Okay, good now. Okay, four of you are done. I need 4 more responses. I wait for you. Okay, once done writing, please let me know. It's taking longer than usual. I have to continue. So now examples. Have looked carefully at the question. You cannot simply give any example here. They are asking you this question in the context of a dice business. You see carefully. Give one example of each of the following types of inventory in a dice business. You agree? Every factory makes different things, of course, right? Okay. Some factories make soft drinks, some factories make clothes, some factories make furniture, some factories make iPhones. Okay. So let's see what business Adai is in. Then you would know what examples to give. Here, children's clothes. Okay. Now you need to be a bit richer in vocabulary this time. Okay, you need to be a bit richer in vocabulary this time. Otherwise, you may not know what to write. So think about any terms that you know about clothes, then you would get some answer. Children's clothes. Okay, let's write some. For information, you have to just write one. Okay, you see 2 marks, 2 marks, 2 marks, 1 mark for definition, 1 mark for example. 1 mark, 1 mark, 1 mark, 1 mark, 1 mark, 1 mark. Total 6 marks. Okay, so just have to give one definition. Yeah, correct, Laonia. Good. Okay, you contributed some answer here. Good. Let's try together. It could be cotton. I write a few examples for you. You just pick up one. Okay, if you want to write all, it's also fine. But in the exam, you just need one. Can you write 2 in the exam? 2 examples in the exam? Yes. If you are not so confident about your answer, you may write 2. Okay. You will not get 1 mark less for writing a wrong answer. So cotton, it could be cotton, it could be thread, it could be buttons. What else? Honestly, I'm not very rich in vocab. Okay, I'm not very vocab rich. Okay, I think enough lah. Okay, 3 examples here. Choose anyone, any example you want. Now it's a bit challenging for writing the work in progress, honestly. And even if you look at the mark scheme, they are struggling to write as well. Okay, they just describe a piece of cloth that is incomplete. So I give you one example. You can follow. A pair of boys' pants. Okay. If you are very good in writing English essays, you are very good in constructing good English sentences, you may write other examples. Okay, it's up to you. Now, finished goods. It could be dresses. Okay, it could be dresses or skirts. Up to you. Okay, a completed pair of boys' pants. Okay. I give you about 15 seconds. Okay. Then we move on. We get back to the notes. Okay. Hurry up. Yeah. Write a bit faster. Okay. Should have done. Yeah. Now we get back to the note section. Last page of the notes, page 236. Page 236. Okay. Page 236 is in a landscape mode, so you have to turn your materials. Okay. You have to turn your materials 90 degrees to the right. Okay. Oh, Emilia, you want to screenshot? Okay? Go on and screenshot. Done. Let me know. Yeah. Okay. Good. Now get back to the notes. Okay. We are now going to spend some time going through the manufacturing account. Okay. So focus on this. Okay. Focus on this manufacturing account. You always try to see the manufacturing account as having 3 parts. This is the first part. Okay. See this as the second part. See this as the third part. Okay. Just like when you are doing income statement, you try to see it as having 2 parts. Okay, you try to see it as having 2 parts, right? Upper part, what is the name? What is the name of the upper part? Trading section, right? Trading section. Must remember the name, yeah, the name of the upper part. That's the first part of the income statement, trading section. Here is the profit or loss section. Profit or loss section. Don't be surprised if you were asked to name what is the name of the first part of the income statement. Okay, you could be asked such question. So you must remember that's trading session, and then second part is profit or loss session. So by breaking down the entire thing into multiple parts, I think it's more manageable. Yeah, that's the purpose. We make it more manageable. Okay, so think of manufacturing account as having three parts, but don't worry, there are no names to these three parts. Okay, I'm just trying to break down the manufacturing account to let you learn more easily. First part is about all factory direct costs. Okay, right now, all factory direct costs. All factory direct costs. Okay, all factory direct costs. What is direct cost? I tell you later. Okay, for now you write first. Okay, you write first. Okay, on another hand, second part of it, all factory indirect costs. Okay, all factory indirect costs. Okay, first part, second part. Last part deals with calculation involving work in progress. Calculations involving work in progress, WIP. Okay, I write in short form here, WIP stands for work in progress. Okay, now we observe, no, before that, let me tell you what is direct cost. Direct cost, you have the meaning given here. Let's read this together. Then I give you further examples and explanation. Direct cost means costs that are directly linked to the number of units of goods produced. Okay, not many would understand through this sentence alone. Okay, so it says directly linked to the number of units of goods produced. It's also described as it would increase with the number of units produced. I think this is more understandable. Increase with the number of units produced. Do you like to draw graphs? Okay, let's draw a graph. Here, direct cost. Here, no worries, Salim. Okay. Once again, if any of you have any internet connection issue, you can always rewatch the few minutes that you have missed. Okay. Okay. So direct cost, and then here, number of units. Okay, that's the main purpose of me recording the lesson. Okay, in the form of a video. Anybody, if you have an emergency, you cannot turn up. The video is there ready for you. Okay, to let you make use of. Number of units, direct cost, and next, this is the line. What do you call this as? What do you call this as? Directly proportional. That's the word you use, right? In any science subjects, directly proportional. So you see, the more units you make, the more units of goods you make in the factory. Let's say you talk about Coca-Cola. The more Coca-Cola you make, the more Coca-Cola cans you make, you have to spend more direct costs. These are direct costs. Okay, these are direct costs. If you make 0 units of goods, if you make nothing in your factory, your direct cost will be 0. Agree? That's what you can understand from the graph. Let me tell you the synonym of direct cost. Synonym of direct cost is variable cost. Okay, variable cost. Not sure if you take business study. If you take business studies, you should be aware what is the meaning of this word. Variable cost. Okay, you have variable cost and fixed cost, and this is variable cost. Okay, so later when we walk through the items in the first part of the manufacturing account, when we are walking through this, we are dealing with all the direct costs. Okay, all the direct costs in the factory. Okay, now give you one example of direct cost. Again, I use Coca-Cola. You can see Coca-Cola in the form in many forms, right? Some are in plastic water bottles. Okay, some are in plastic bottles. Some are in the form of aluminum cans. Aluminum cans, right? Some are in glasses. Okay, but quite rarely we see it nowadays. Okay, Coca-Cola in glasses, those very thin and tall one. Okay, those tall and thin glasses. Okay, now let's talk about Coca-Cola in aluminum cans. So you try to think of yourself running a Coca-Cola factory. You make this, okay? You make Coca-Cola in the form of aluminum cans. For every unit you make, for every can of Coca-Cola you make, what do you need for every can of Coca-Cola? You need to have an empty can, right? You need to have an empty can. You need to have labeling. You need to have the label, right? And you need to have liquid. Liquid means water, right? You also need to have sugar. You need to have flavor. What else do you need? You need to have coloring. You need to have preservative, right? Okay. So what are all these? These are all direct costs because whenever you make one more extra can of Coca-Cola, you need more of these things. You need more of these things, right? That's why these are direct costs. Simple? Yes. Okay, not easy to understand, yeah? Not difficult to understand, yeah? This one, direct cost. Whenever you make one more extra unit of goods, you have to spend more of that spending. So let's look at the first section of manufacturing account. You begin with the subheading of raw materials. Okay, begin with the subheading of raw materials, draw a line for it. Then you see a few things that look very familiar. You see, you have opening raw material, purchases of raw material, carriage inward minus closing raw material. Does it look familiar? Yes. Why? Why does it look familiar? Because in the income statement, in the typical income statement, you are very used to the formatting of the cost of sales. So inside the cost of sales, you have opening inventory plus purchases plus carriage inward minus closing inventory, which are very similar to what you see here. Opening plus purchases plus carriage inward minus closing, right? Okay, so I don't think it's a very big challenge for you to remember, all the things that would appear here. Okay, after you have written the raw material subheading, begin with opening, but what is the difference? Here we are looking at raw materials instead. Okay, raw materials, right? So opening raw material plus purchases of raw material plus carriage inward for raw material minus closing raw material. Okay, so with these four numbers, you do some calculation, you will get a figure known as cost of raw material use. Okay, cost of raw material use, which is this one. So this figure means throughout a year, you have used raw materials that are worth total 42200. Okay, you have used raw materials worth 4220 in total throughout the year. Okay, so that's the figure you get from doing this calculation. So you agree raw materials are these things, right? Just now I talked about the Coca-Cola that you are making, the can, the label, the liquid, sugar, coloring, flavoring, preservative, all these are raw materials. Therefore, they are direct costs. Now let's understand another direct cost. We call it as direct labor cost. And you have to know the synonyms for this. Let's write down the synonym, direct labor cost. Then I will let you understand why is it a direct cost. Okay, you write factory operatives, factory operative wages. I think I write somewhere else. Okay, shall we? Let's write somewhere else. At the top right corner, because it's too crowded here. Okay, too crowded here. We write at the top right. Okay, so all this mean the same thing. Direct labor cost, factory operative wages, factory operators wages. Okay, so this means the same thing. Okay, I'm trying to let you see the different varieties of description given by the examiner for this term. Okay, so when you see these, you know they are direct labor costs. Next, let me make you understand why is it a direct labor. Okay, so you know what this means, right? Labor cost. You pay money to the factory workers. You pay money to the factory workers. They don't work for free, right? You have to pay them, right? So why is it direct? Why is it direct? So recall what is meant by direct cost. Direct cost, you can present it in the form of a graph like this. The more units you make, the more direct cost you spend. Okay, I'm sure that not many of you take business study, but if some of you take business study, you know there are many ways to pay our employees. There are many ways to pay our employees. You may pay them monthly. You may pay them hourly. You may pay them weekly. You may pay them on a piece rate basis. Piece rate basis. Piece rate basis means this is more particular for, sorry, this is more applicable to factories, factory workers. And this is used to motivate workers in the factory. So piece rate means whenever the factory workers have successfully made one unit of goods, whenever the factory workers have successfully made one unit of goods, we pay them some money. Okay, let's say again in the Coca-Cola factory context, maybe $1 per can. So you tell your workers in the factory, whenever you make one extra can of Coca-Cola successfully, I give you $1. So do you think that they are motivated to make as many as they can? Of course, they will work harder, right? Okay, so this is piece rate basis. So is it a direct cost? Of course. Okay, because whenever you make one extra can, you pay $1. Okay, so therefore it's a direct labor cost. Yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to make you understand why is it a direct cost. Okay, why direct labor is a direct cost here. Okay, now, so 2000 here, okay, 2000 here, that's the direct labor cost. Also be aware of the different descriptions given here, okay, the different descriptions. Okay, next, you have one more item of direct cost. And there's only one example that you have to be aware of. It is royalty. Okay, you write down royalty. Okay, let me explain what is royalty. So there's only one example of other direct costs you have to know, yeah, which is royalty. And it's quite rare for it to appear in the exam. But if you see it, many other students would not be aware that this is other direct costs, and you should know. Okay, you should know that royalty means other direct costs. Make sure you put it here. Okay, let me explain royalty, because this is something many students keep ignoring. Okay, they always forget about this thing, this item royalty. Okay, what is royalty? Royalty, don't worry, the examiner will not ask you for definition, but I just want to explain to you what is royalty. Royalty is permission fee. Permission fee to manufacture something. Permission fee to manufacture something. So what is meant by permission fee then, right? But with the word permission, I think it looks more understandable. Okay, permission fee. That means you want to get permission from someone, you must pay money, right? You want to get permission from someone, you must pay money. That's permission fee. So permission to do what? Permission to make things. Okay, let's say, just example, yeah, but don't ask me how is it done exactly, because I have not owned any factory before. So let's say you want to have a factory in Malaysia. you want to open a factory in Malaysia, and you intend to make iPhones in Malaysia. Okay, you want to open a factory to make iPhones in Malaysia. Do you need to get permission from Apple company? Yes. Apple company is from the US, right? Okay, let's say they approve. Okay, you write a letter to them, you email them, and then they reply, yes, okay, no problem. I can let you open a factory in Malaysia to make iPhones. But do you think that they would just let you make for free? Meaning they give you the formula in making the iPhones, then you just make it and then sell and then make money? Of course, no. You must pay some permission fee, right? There's no free lunch in this world. You must pay permission fee. So yeah, that's what you give in return. They allow you to make iPhones in Malaysia and then sell, but you have to, in return, you have to pay permission fee. So most of the time, permission fee is paid in the form of as per unit. Meaning, whenever you make one extra iPhone in your factory, whenever you make one extra iPhone in the factory, you have to pay maybe, just example, yeah, maybe $20 per unit to the Apple company in the US. Yeah, that's why it's direct. That's why it is direct, what we call it, other direct cost. Because whenever you make one extra unit of iPhone, you pay maybe $20 per unit of permission fee. We call it royalty to the Apple company in the US. Okay, get the idea, yeah? Okay. Okay, so if you have royalty, make sure you put it here, 300. After that, you get a number known as prime cost. Prime cost. Okay, it has nothing to do with the Optimus Prime. Okay, it's prime cost. Prime cost means the total of all the direct costs. Total of all the direct costs. So how you get the 44500 here? You do the addition. Okay, do addition. Take 42200 plus 2000 plus 300. Then you get 44500. Simple? Yes. That's how you do the direct cost section. Okay, the direct cost section, yeah. Must start with raw material. Must always start with raw material. Then direct labor cost, then other direct costs if you have. Okay, then sum them up. Why I do addition here? Why I plus? Because purpose of manufacturing account is to combine all factory spendings. Combine means what? Combine means plus. Combine means plus. Okay, so therefore you look at the top left. All direct costs from factory means prime cost. Okay, you must remember to write this. Okay, common mistake made by students. They forget to write the term prime cost. Remember to write. This is kind of like the gross profit you get here. Gross profit, you calculate it yourself, right? Then you must remember to write the term gross profit, right? Okay, so it's kind of like gross profit here in the income statement. Okay, now first part is done. We focus on the second part. Second part deal with all the factory indirect costs. Indirect costs. If you know what is direct cost, for sure, indirect cost must be opposite, right? Must be opposite. Okay, write down the synonym with me. Synonym for this, fixed cost. Fixed cost. And another synonym, overheads. Overheads. Okay, indirect cost, fixed cost, overheads. These three mean the same thing as one another. For answering purposes, you must write the term production overheads here. This is a subheading. Okay, this is a subheading, yeah. So you plus production overheads is a subheading. Don't write fixed cost, yeah. Don't write fixed cost. Don't use the term fixed cost. Don't use the term indirect cost. You must write production overheads here. Okay, must write production overheads here. Okay, now the presentation is very easy here. Okay, unlike the direct cost section, the production overheads are quite easy to present. Sequence doesn't matter. Okay, let me write down. Okay, sequence among all the production overheads doesn't matter. Sequence doesn't matter. Okay, X means don't, yeah. Okay, sequence doesn't matter. So see what you have. So for production overheads, If I were to draw a graph, how would it look like if I were to draw a graph for production overheads? This is production overhead, yeah, POH, okay, production overhead. This is number of units. It's going to be a straight horizontal line, straight horizontal line. Regardless of how many units you make, regardless of how many units you make in a factory, it will stay the same, constant, right? So I think through the graph, I don't have to further explain, right? Okay. You can also see the definition here. Production overheads, all indirect costs from the factory. Okay, all indirect costs from the factory. Okay, now see what you have. You have factory supervisor salary. Now let's try to think, let's try to find out why they are fixed. Supervisor is someone who watches other people do things in the factory. Factory supervisor is someone who watches other factory workers do things, right? See if they have made any mistake, right? You watch over them, you oversee them. Do you think that whenever you make one more can of Coca-Cola, you need one more supervisor? That let's say you make 500 cans of Coca-Cola, you make 500 cans of Coca-Cola, then you need 500 supervisors in the factory? Of course, no, right? Not logical. That's why it's fixed. Maybe you just have maybe one or two supervisor or even three supervisors. Unless your factory is really big, maybe 4 to 5 supervisors, but it will not be a lot. It will not be a lot. Therefore, it's something fixed. That's why it's production overhead. Okay, have to understand why it's production overhead. Yeah, it will stay fixed. Next, depreciation of machinery. Okay, depreciation of loose tools. Okay, all these are the things in the factory. Must ensure that all the things here are in the factory. Those tools are what? Remember? Last time I showed you the meaning of it through picture. These are loose tools. Okay, these are loose tools. For sure, you would have this in the factory. Once in a while, your factory may break down. You may want to do a quick fix. You want to do a quick fix on anything in the factory. So you need this thing. These are loose tools. Okay, I only have 3 examples of production overheads here because this part of the notes used to be a PowerPoint slide. That's why I didn't have enough space. But now I've converted it into a PDF. I can do some modification here. You write down a few more production overheads with me. Write down a few more production overheads with me. So draw an arrow, okay, to somewhere here or anywhere else. Okay, you may write factory insurance must be factory related. Must be factory related. When you are doing manufacturing account, don't touch anything that is outside the factory. Don't include anything that's outside the factory. Ensure that you only include things that are factory related. Okay, factory insurance, factory rent. Okay, write down factory rent. Factory machine repairs and maintenance. Agree, right? Must do maintenance and repairs once in a while. Okay, factory insurance, factory rent, factory machine repairs and maintenance. So these are the common things that you will see for production overheads. But the more questions you do, then you would be aware of the common overheads that you will be given in the exam. Okay. Now again, the production overheads, you will have many given in the exam. Sequence doesn't matter. Okay, whichever comes first, it doesn't matter. How to show the numbers? Very easy. Gather them on the left first, then draw a line, total them up, put it here. So 5,000, 2,000, 1,000, total 8,000. Simple? Yes. Does it look familiar? Yes. Just like how you show the expenses, right? Gather them first, then total up and put on the right. Agree? Okay. And I have a question to all of you. You try to determine an answer. Should I take the prime cost to plus or minus the 8,000? Okay, so if you think I should plus, then you then you answer with plus. If you think I should minus, then you answer with the word minus. Should I take the 44500 prime cost to plus or minus the 8,000? Is it plus or minus? Okay, I wait for everyone's response before I continue. I need a total of 8 answers. Okay, I see 2 answers. Give you all 1 minute, even though it's more than it should be. Okay. Okay, I need 5 more answers. Okay, let me repeat the question. Question is, should I take the prime cost to plus or minus the 8,000? Plus or minus? Okay, so Joshua, what do you think? Emilia, what do you think? Yes, Emilia, Joshua, your answer. What do you think? And okay, I have to tell you the answer. Okay, you should plus. We should plus. Actually, the answer can be known from looking at the next number. You see the next number is what? 52500, right? So how to get 52500? You must plus, right? You must plus. So let me tell you the next common mistake made by students. If you do it too fast, you may tend to minus it. Why? Because it looks like what you see in the income statement for expenses. Usually here you minus, right? Okay, here you minus, right? Because you should minus expenses. And therefore, many students, they tend to minus here. Okay, so must keep in mind, you must plus here. Why plus? You are combining factory expenses. You are combining factory expenses, therefore you plus. Okay, that's the reason you have to plus. Okay, recall, purpose of manufacturing account is to combine all factory expenses, combine all factory spendings. Okay, then, so that's how you complete the first and second section. There will be minus at the last result. I don't get you. Okay, you may want to rephrase your question. We are combining all factory spendings together. Okay, so we plus the 8,000. Okay, now third section of the manufacturing account, we deal with the work in progress. Okay, now you see you have to plus opening work in progress, then you minus closing work in progress. Okay, let's first understand what is meant by opening and closing. Opening means beginning of the year. Closing means year end. Okay, so meaning opening work in progress means amount of work in progress you have at the beginning of the year. don't try to think why you plus and minus first. I will tell you why. Okay, try to understand what is meant by opening WIP and closing WIP. Opening a WIP is the work in progress you have at the beginning of the year. Closing WIP is the amount of work in progress you have at the year end. Okay, so now why should you plus opening work in progress and minus closing work in progress? There's a reason to it, and you must know. It's something that many students are not aware of. Okay, look at the last figure first. Cost of production of finished goods. Cost of production of finished goods. Okay, cost of production, you understand, right? Cost of production means how much have you spent on making the goods in the factory? How much have you spent on making the goods in the factory? Of finished goods, this is important. Of finished goods. So it's telling you that this figure 52400 must be only spendings on things that you have completed. Finished goods means things that you have completed in the factory. That means the 52400 cannot include spendings for work in progress. Because work in progress, you have not completed it yet. Therefore, you should not put it, it should not be included in the 52400. Get the idea? The 52400 is only the spendings in the factory for things that you have completed. Okay, not for things that you have not done during the year. Therefore, you try to think logically. Opening work in progress are the work in progress you have at the beginning of the year. So logically, throughout the 12 months, can you complete them into finished goods, the opening work in progress? Of course. Otherwise, what would you have been doing in the factory, right? You must be working on the goods hardworkingly, right? That means you run your factory every day. Of course, opening work in progress should have been completed. Therefore, you plus. Okay, the reason you plus is because it should have been completed during the year. Now, why minus closing work in progress? Because closing work in progress are those work in progress at the year end. Have you completed them? Not yet. Therefore, you have to remove it. Why remove it? Because this last number can only be for finished goods. Okay, spendings on finished goods. Okay, only for finished goods. Okay, now if you still don't understand, read the two lines here. Okay, fill up the blank. Opening work in progress, closing work in progress. Here is the reason. So opening work in progress brought down from the last accounting period is assumed to be completed into finished goods in this period. Therefore, it's added. Agree, right? Opening work in progress are brought down from the previous accounting period. Therefore, it should have been completed in the current year. Therefore, you plus. Closing work in progress, you have not completed them at the year end. Therefore, you have to remove it. You have to exclude it. Therefore, you minus. Okay. Therefore, you plus opening WIP and minus closing WIP. This one must remember the reason as well. Okay, that's how you do the manufacturing account. Later, I will show you 1 or 2 questions. Next week, we will do more questions. And then we move on to the next topic. Okay, next week, we will be doing questions on this. Okay, we'll be doing a lot of questions. Okay, after manufacturing account, you prepare income statement, right? Okay. The 52400, watch carefully. It will appear here. 52400. Okay, why is it there? Why is it brought to there? Because you can think of this as a replacement for purchases. You can think of it as a replacement for purchases. Because instead of buying goods from the suppliers, now you make the goods yourself. Therefore, you can see this as replacement for purchases. That's why it's in the cost of sales section. Okay, yeah, so must understand why it's here. Yeah, it's a replacement for purchases. Instead of buying goods from supplier, you make things yourself. So you put this figure here. And next thing you want to pay attention to is purchases of finished goods. Just now just a moment ago, I told you cost of production, the 52400 is a replacement for purchases. But why is there still purchases of finished goods? So purchases of finished goods here mean you buy finished goods from suppliers. You buy finished goods from other factories. Why? You have a factory. Why can't you make your own things? Why do you have to buy finished goods from other suppliers? So in the exam, it's a very popular question where they ask you, why do you still buy finished goods from other supplier when you are a manufacturer? You can make things yourself, but why do you still buy from other factory? I can give you an example. Can you say that when you have a factory, you can make anything that exists in this world? When you have a factory, automatically you would know how to make a Lamborghini. When you have a factory, can you say that you can make Coca-Cola immediately? Cannot, right? You must have the skills, right? If you don't have the skills, you cannot make those things. Therefore, I have a few answers here for you. And you must know what to write when the examiner asks you. So you see at the bottom left. Why manufacturing businesses still buy finished goods from suppliers? Okay, you ignore the first two. I prefer the last two answers. Okay, let's see the first one. We cannot manufacture certain things. Yes, we cannot manufacture certain products. I give you one example. Let's say we talk about Dali company. What do they make? Toothpaste. They make toothpaste, right? They also make what? They also make toothbrush. Okay, they focus on making high quality toothpaste and toothbrushes. When you buy a lot of toothpaste, what do you get? Free gift. What are the free gifts? Free gifts like plates, cups, right? Plates and cups. So do you think that it's worthwhile for Dali to buy a big machine just for making plates and cups? Of course, no, right? Cups and plates are cheap. So this is what I thought. Okay, in real life, I do not know what happened exactly for Dali, but it's my thought here. Okay, it's my thought here that Dali logically would buy the plates and cups from other manufacturer. They will buy it from suppliers instead of taking the plates and cup themselves, because Dali, their expertise is on making high quality toothpaste and toothbrushes. Yeah, that's one example. Okay, Dali, they will buy plates and cups from other factories to give as free gift to the customer. Okay, because Dali cannot manufacture certain things, because Dali focuses on making toothpaste and toothbrushes. Okay, yeah, so here's one example. Another example, we have reached our maximum manufacturing capacity. Okay, what does it mean here? It means that your factory could be too small. A factory could be too small. Let's say one day a customer has placed a large order with you. Okay, a customer has placed a large order with you, and you cannot finish making all the things needed to fulfill the order. That means you don't have enough time. The customer wants it fast. Okay, the customer wants a lot of units and they want it fast, but you don't have enough time. Should you just let go the order? Of course, no, right? Have to find some solution. So what to do? You can buy from other factories. You can buy from other factories. So you could be thinking it could be not so logical. Let's say your factory is about making iPhones. Okay, your factory is about making iPhones. When you don't have enough time to make enough iPhones to fulfill customers' order, can you buy Samsung for your customer? Can you go to another factory and buy Samsung phones for your customer? Of course, cannot, right? Therefore, this point can only be applied when you talk about other kinds of goods. For example, brandless products. Brandless products. So what is meant by brandless products? Tupperware. sorry, I should not use the word Tupperware. Tupperware is a brand, okay? Containers, okay? Containers are brandless, right? So if you are a factory making containers, empty containers, especially during festive seasons, they need containers for the biscuits, right? Agree? So if you cannot fulfill your customers in time, you can buy these. You can buy some containers from other manufacturer so that you can fulfill your customers' order. At the same time, you can make quite a lot of money. Okay, so let me repeat. This point, we have reached our maximum manufacturing capacity is only applicable to brandless products. Okay, for example, containers. Other examples may be brandless cups. Okay, possible. Okay, so there you go. The reasons why manufacturers still buy finished goods from other suppliers. It's a very popular question. Ensure that you know this. If the school teacher tells you that this topic will be out in the exam, in your school exam, for sure you will see this question one. And for sure you will be asked to do a manufacturing account. Okay, yeah. And also remember to bring the cost of production to the income statement is presented here. Okay, now let's do a question together. For the first few times you are attempting the question, when you are trying to do a manufacturing account, it would take you some time. It would take you some time. And over time, you would be faster. You will become faster from time to time when you have practiced more. Okay, let's do one. You come to page 238. We do one example together. Come to page 238. So I show it side by side so that it's easier to see. So do together with me. For this one, you do together with me. So in your mind, you must know that you have 3 parts to do in the manufacturing account. Okay, so first part will be about the raw materials. Okay, so start to look for things about raw materials. Okay, so let's pick them up. I see one here. You notice or not, the distance between the description and numbers are quite far apart as well. My advice is please use ruler, place a ruler on the question so that you can avoid looking at the wrong numbers. Another solution is draw lines like this, put the numbers into batches so that you won't take the wrong number. Really, it's a very common mistake. Okay, don't think that this is simple mistake that you will not make. Really. Okay, so okay, do it like this. It would be easier to get the numbers. Okay, raw materials. I see one here. Maybe enlarge it a bit more. Okay, better. And then what else? You have raw material. Okay, I also see one here. Raw material. Raw material. Okay, I don't see anything about raw material anymore. Okay, I have carriage inward here. Okay, you could be thinking, is the carriage inward to be in the income statement or in the manufacturing account? You have to assume. Sometimes we don't have a choice because the exam questions are not so clear-cut sometimes. Okay, because the examiners are also humans, they may leave out some things here and there, and you have to assume. So carriage inwards, you have to assume that it is the delivery charges for your raw material. When you buy raw materials from other people, maybe you buy raw materials from farmer, carriage inward is the delivery charges. Okay, so assume that this is linked to raw material. Okay, so conclusion, you have 3 things about raw material, and they are this, this, and this. Okay, is there opening raw material? No. Why? Open. This is the first year of running the factory, therefore there's no opening item. So don't go look for opening raw material, you won't get it. Okay, now let's start putting these 3 things into the answer together. So begin with raw material subheading. Raw material subheading. Don't have opening raw material, you should put purchases of raw material as next. Purchases of raw material. $48400. Okay, next. Carriage inward. You put it here. Okay. Next. Less closing raw material. Okay. Where is it? 5150. How do I know that that's closing? Because of the date. The date. Okay, that's the year end. How do I know that's the year end? Because this is beginning of the year. Okay, year end is 12 months later, 31st January 2018. So write down 5150. Okay. Okay, draw a line for this, do the calculation. 45200. Okay, 45200. Okay. We are still in the first section, yeah. First section is about combining all the direct factory spendings. So next, I would be looking for direct labor cost. See if there's any direct labor cost. Okay, I see one here. Direct factory wages, 38800. Okay, let's see if there's any other direct factory cost. Okay, there's only one, yeah. There's only one that you have to know for other direct factory spendings. It is royalty. Okay, so if you don't see royalty, then you don't have it. Okay, so just one direct factory wages here. Direct factory wages plus or minus plus. Purpose of doing manufacturing, combine all factory spendings, combine. Okay, so plus. Okay, now draw a line. Total up these two. Total up these two. 84,000. Remember to write prime cost. This is the total of all direct costs. Okay, total of all direct costs, prime cost. Okay. Now, what else? Let's see what other items you have. Indirect factory wages. This is in the production overheads. January factory expenses in the production overheads. Factory heat and light, production overheads. Factory insurance, production overheads. Then you also see closing work in progress. This is closing work in progress. This is to be used in the third section of the manufacturing account, right? And what about closing finished goods? This is in the income statement, in the cost of sales section. Income statement, cost of sales section. When you see finished goods, for sure it's in the income statement. When you see raw material, when you see work in progress, they are in the manufacturing account. Finished goods must be in the income statement. Therefore, this figure, ignore it for now. 5500, ignore it for now. Okay. And we also see something here. Factory machinery, 75,000. So is it factory related? Yes. When you see anything that's factory related, put it into the manufacturing account. But should you put machinery into the manufacturing account? No. Machinery is an NCA. NCA should appear in the SOFP. But think of NCA, what should you think of? Anybody? Type in the chat box. When you think of NCA, what should you think of? You should link it to what topic? What is the name of that topic? NCA links to what? Think of NCA, thinks of what? Anyone? Yes, Launia, depreciation, correct. Okay, good. Okay, yeah. So, and then think of trade receivable. What should you think of? Think of trade receivable. You must think of provision for doubtful debts. You must know eventually everything are linked. Okay, so machinery, you must put the depreciation of it into the manufacturing account, okay, as production overhead. So depreciation of factory machinery is the production overhead. It says 75,000 times 20%. Okay, so all the ones in light blue are production overhead. And eventually, you have to minus the closing work in progress. Minus the closing work in progress. Okay, and then you can get cost of production. I don't have the time to show you the full answers here. I will continue next week. This is your homework. Okay, you complete the rest as homework. Make sure you attempt first, yeah. When you attempt first, then only you come to the lesson, you will learn even better. You will remember it even better. Okay, you cannot learn to swim by just observing how somebody swim, really. Okay, you must try to do it yourself. Then only you are really learning. Okay, and you also try okay, page 241, question C. Okay, also try this question as homework. I will discuss this page as well. Okay, page 241. Okay, so that's it for today, everyone. We are done learning this topic. Next week, we will focus on discussing the questions. Then after next week, we will move on to a new topic, partnership accounting. And you're not far from finishing the whole subject. Okay, so have a nice day, everyone. I'll see you. Bye. No problem. Welcome, everyone.